Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday Namaste session. It's incredible that we come and do this almost every day, isn't it? This pulse of energy, love, light, joining together.
Immersion and saturation.
Immersion and saturation, yes. To be saturated. It's like jumping into a pool. It's been a hot, hot day. And why would you sit at the edge of the pool when you can jump in and feel that divine refreshment? Well, that's what we do. This is like a big pool party, a sacred pool party. So let's feel that divine refreshment today. So I want to begin by, first of all, Reverend Stephen, are you out there? I want to check something really quick. Is Stephen
I am.
Here today? Okay, good.
I am.
All right. I'll come back to you in a few moments, but I want to talk really quickly about a book that Stephen and I have been working on together. It'll be one of the next offerings. The title, as I've mentioned before, is The 10 Symptoms of Enlightenment. And at the very top of the book, it says, are you losing your mind or waking up?
That's great.
And often, if you've been engaged in this process, one might be tempted to believe that you're losing your mind. Something is changing very fast and you're not seeing or thinking about things in the same way. Your grip on the so-called reality has become somewhat tenuous. Anybody, if people are raising their hands, and yeah, the space between your thoughts starts to get greater and you're not able to link them and hold them together in quite in the same way. The tension of the thought, of the concepts, everything is expanding to the point that it can, if you resist that expansion, it can be very frightening. Also, there's a point at which we try to make the inner and the outer one. In other words, I'm having this inner revelatory experience that is making me see everything in a new way. But if I am still clinging to what seems to be happening outside myself, and I force that vision to then find form, that's going to be a very difficult thing. It's going to cause more trauma until I realize it's not working and I let it go. So I bring this up because I had an experience last night that was interesting. It was about 12:30 in the morning and I received a phone call from someone that I know, a friend in Portland who is a wonderful, amazing, open person. And she called me at 12:30 and said, it's really important that, because of course, first I texted and said, I'm sleeping. Is it important? Yes, it's important. So I called my friend back and she was in the midst of a revelatory experience. I'll say that first. She was engaged in this awakening. Everything was shifting inside her. And yet the need to try and find some physical correspondence or to take that experience and put it outside of herself was still very much in place and was creating what appeared to be kind of a psychotic episode. When you're trying to live between two worlds and live in two worlds, of course that's going to happen. It's only when you surrender every way that you think it's supposed to look and just be fully present to the presence that you can ease into the experience. So what was happening with my friend was she was convinced that that the Christian concept of the ascension, Jesus, after 40 days after the resurrection, ascending into heaven, never actually took place, and that he's been living all this time in a particular town in central Washington. And so she went to this town to find him, and that this day, she was going to be meeting with a man who's 2,000 years old. Okay. Now, all I could do is to assure her that her experience is valid. However, to try and get her to loosen her grip on the way she thinks it's meant to look. The idea that she had that this had to be a certain way, that somehow spirit had led her to this little town in the middle of nowhere, because for 2,000 years, this man has been living in secret, and now he's going to be revealed to the world through her. Do you see how the ego can get in there and create specialness? It's going to be revealed now through me. I'm the one now is going to bring this one out. But once again, it was my role to validate her inner experience while asking her to question her outer experience. And it was really quite beautiful, actually, because I could feel the yearning and the longing for the experience of love in her, but just had to break the spell of what it was meant to look like. So she was engaged in one of the 10 symptoms of enlightenment. She wasn't losing her mind. It certainly seemed like it. And everyone in her life was telling her, you have lost your mind. And of course, I didn't tell her that. I told her, your experience is real, but let go of what you think it's supposed to look like, because I promise you, it will not look like that. I didn't want to tell her there's no such thing as a 2,000-year-old man living in some little desert town in central Washington. First of all, how the heck would I know? Strange things happen sometimes. But for all of us to know that as the eruption of our egoic self dissolves, as it dissolves more and more and becomes less and less, its hold becomes less and less strong, things are going to be happening. We're going to be, with all of our might, trying to hold on to what we thought was real. So this morning, I just intuitively grabbed the Art of Spiritual Peacemaking, which, by the way, we're going to be reprinting in about a month. Several people have been writing to me saying that the Art of Spiritual Peacemaking is, and I've always felt, is the most important book that I've ever brought through. And yet it's been out of print for many years. And so people have been encouraging us to put it back out. So we're putting it out under the title, The Yeshua Letters. No, I'm sorry, The Yeshua Code. So I just opened it up randomly right before session, and I want to read to you what I came to so that we can understand that our experience is valid. Our inner experience is always valid because it's bringing us to fully experience the love that we are while letting go of the need for it to show up in a certain way. Okay? The love you seem to be seeking outside yourself is not outside at all. You're not going to find it outside you, but within you. Look at the person who is standing in front of you right now, especially if you call this one your beloved, a partner. Do you want them to remain outside, where you can never fully contain the passion of your soul? Of course we do. This is one of the ways that we keep from dissolving. Just keep it out there. Especially if it's a partner, someone that we love. The idea that we could ever fully merge and that our love could be one is the greatest threat. The greatest threat to that identity that wants to remain in place. Or would it be better to know that that person is sparking something that is already inside you, sparking something that's already inside, and that this is their gift to you? So whether you're in a relationship or just a great friendship or anyone really, and you feel that spark, you feel that revelatory rush, all they're really doing is sparking something that's already inside you, the love that is always present. But within the ego context, we we have this literal need to project it outside. And that can take a grandiose form, like expecting to find a 2,000-year-old man in a town in central Washington. Why not try and find that in whoever is right in front of you? Why does it always have to be the special person? And this is what I was trying to get my friend to see, to let go of her stranglehold on what it's supposed to look like, and to really see what is there. You can walk up to anyone, I told her, and know that this is that fully realized Holy Christ, or whatever you want to call it, whatever words you want to use. This is it, no matter what, no matter how they're acting, no matter how old they are. Could be a 2-year-old, could be a 90-year-old, could be a 2,000-year-old. However they look, this is the beloved in front of you right now. Claim it, and it's the same as claiming the beloved within you. Okay, a little bit more. This is the gift that you choose to see within both of them, not without. You can be the same gift to them, but only if you realize that love is the goal, not possession. You're not trying to possess someone. You cannot possess another, and you cannot possess love. Look into the eyes of the one right in front of you and realize the real gift they hold. Hold each other with open hands, for love is not real unless it is free. And you will not know the truth that lives within you now unless you allow the same freedom. So what my friend was experiencing last night is something that we're all going to experience on some level. The need to put it out there. The need to, and also the need to be special within the way that we put it out there. To be special to another person that we put outside of ourselves, or a mystical experience that now sets us up as, I was told by my friend that the reason she was told to call me is because there's only 5 people on the planet who are at this point of evolution. And I realized in that moment that if I believe that, I'm done. If I believe that I am and that there's other 4, I mean, there is a part of every single one of us that might be tempted to think, really? Wow. Okay. You know, I had a feeling, but I didn't want to say it out loud. And then suddenly the hooks come in and I'm pulled right back into the perceptual universe, rather than being set free, because I'm willing to see that in everyone. But the need to be special, that's why I really believe that my friend was having a true revelatory experience. But now she has to relax within that. Release the need to put it outside and to make herself special within the way she puts it outside, thinking that she and she alone has been given the task of finding a 2,000-year-old man, and realize that the Christ is in front of her every moment. And my willingness to see that is going to help me relax, and those egoic chains and bindings will dissolve on their own. So, given the fact that we've been working on this book for a couple months, I think, Stephen, love to invite you to share, and then we'll invite Vicky in. But since you and I have been working on this together, I'd love to hear your input of a real life situation where someone seems to be losing their mind, but they're really waking up.
Well, that would be me. Well, you know, we're getting to the close of this project here and working on chapter 10 together, or symptom 10, I should say. And symptom 10, to bring everything around full circle, everything that we looked at as separate, we're now bringing back to see how it's all part of the whole. It's all supportive of the whole. It's only been something that has perhaps provided us contrast to get to this place where our perspective is now one of seeing it all. And I use all with an uppercase A. seeing through the lens of the divine, seeing as God sees. So it can be confusing. I would like to take issue there. We do know of a 2,000-year-old man that is alive and well. I don't know about the Jesus part, but his name is Keith Richards, and he plays for the Rolling Stones. But it's interesting. It's interesting what we attach ourselves to, and we look at this in this work, that detachment, and that's what you're really talking about here. Is if she is attached to it being this way, rather than being attached to being love, we can certainly get carried off in many different directions. It all leads us back to the same place. It's looking at all the experiences in our lives without detachment, and then coming to the realization that we call being awake, and knowing that we're standing in heaven, and we're realizing that we've been standing here the whole time. But our attachment to everything that looked unlike standing in heaven has kept us looking at all things through a different perspective, through a different lens, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it will make a lot of sense as you read this all put together in our collection together, James. But that's what I got. Been up since the wee hours of the morning working on this, so I get in a different frame when I'm speaking it and compared to when I'm writing it. But it all comes back to what's real, and that's the love we are, and realizing that what we're talking about here, this love, is not something that we're doing, it's something that we're being.
Thank you. Beautiful. And yes, I think it is important for us to remember that we do have to be mindful of what we're doing now, because how do I say this? Because we have to think about the world we're going to leave to Keith Richards. We want to make sure we leave Keith a good world, because Keith is never going to die. Anyway, the need to hold on to the identity, the need to hold on, trumps in the mind the need to release. And we will hold on to the last second until we realize the futility, or really until we realize what it's costing us, because all we're talking about is love here. And my need to hold on and to project and to outpicture and all of these things, all I'm really doing is denying myself the love that I am. And so relaxing into it, no matter what it looks like, whether it seems like a psychotic break or just a slight discomfort, relaxing into that is relaxing into love, which is just who I am. So just go with it, whatever it is you're feeling, even if it seems very dramatic. Like my friend, I'm sure I'll talk to her later today, and all I'm going to do is encourage her to just relax. Don't worry about what it's going to look like. Don't worry about who you're going to meet down the road, because everyone you meet down the road is love. So I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm going to turn it over to Vicki here and see what you'd like to share about this wonderful story.
Good morning, Brother James, and thank you, Stephen. Thank you, James. Now, you may have heard this story before, but this is the perfect place to share it. When brothers have mystical experiences, the only gift of love I know to offer is, like you said, just believe in it, support the truth of it. And then I've learned, go with the rest. Don't put up much of a fuss. So one morning, my dad had been in bedridden for 3 years, Louis. He was 90 years old. I bring him breakfast at 7 in the morning, and he says, Jesus Christ, you're not going to believe what happened to your father last night. I said, Daddy, what happened? They made your father head of the United States government. I said, they did? Yes, he said. They made your father. He said, must be Mary. Must be one of those mysteries. I don't know. But I knew it was so genuine and he was so lit up that he had a Christ experience. I knew he did. And I was elated. I said, Daddy, that's great. And he said, here, take this. And he gave me money. You can never wear anything on. I'm not in a white dress, but white sparkles. He made me go out and buy sparkly clothes. He said, you got to sparkle. He said, everyone's got to sparkle. Go get for your sisters. From that day on, for the next 2 years, he passed at 92. We never went into the bedroom with he and my mother unless we had on white clothes at least, and usually sparkly clothes. My sister made us 3 sparkly capes that we had on when the Undertaker came. He comes in and the 3 of us are in our white sparkly capes. And then he sent me out to get, or he sent Harvey out to Salvation Army to buy army jackets for everyone. He wanted the men in American military gear because he said America stands for God, for love, for freedom. And he had the girls all in white sparkling. And everything he wanted to do, were other things, of course, he asked me to do, but every one of them was loaded with love. And truly I found, and I've had other experience with other friends, just go with it. Go with the truth of it, because as we see the light in our brothers, the defenses that want to encapsulate it into a specific form loosen. And then our brother's grip on what it's supposed to look like relaxes. And then that space, because of the joining, in recognition of the light that we both see and know, their defenses loosen and grace comes in and allows an unfoldment that somehow fits the life situation. And that's what I found. And Louis was lucid. He was sharp as a tack till the day he passed, but never did ever waver from Jesus Christ. I don't know why. That's one of those mysteries, kid. They made you a father, head of the United States government. My mother said to me one day, Vicky, tell me. She had some memories. So, Mommy, what? She says, is that man my husband? And I said, oh, yes, Mommy. And I'm your oldest daughter. Oh, she said, that's wonderful. Tell me, she said, is he head of the United States government? I said, Mama, I don't know if he's head of the whole United States government, but he's head of our government. Oh, she said, that's very good. Thank you. Just like that. Now, see, another experience of love. Never like, oh, Mama, that's not. Oh, yes, Mama. Whether you're dealing with someone with perhaps memory issues, I'm not going to label it, or someone with a grand revelatory experience, recognize the essence of what's coming through and celebrate it and go with it. And everybody went with it in our whole life. Everybody, I had, cakes for everybody that walked in the door, that visited them. Everybody wore white. Anyway, thank you. That's what I got.
Oh man, that is a great story. It's perfect. And it just illustrates that all we're meant to do is to go with the yes. That'll be today's lesson. Go with the yes. I wouldn't have helped my friend last night if I tried to convince her that she was wrong about what she was thinking. All it would have done was cause more confusion, just like it would have caused Louis more confusion if you tried to convince him that he actually was not in charge of the entire United States government. Go with the yes. Let the yes do its work on us. Now, obviously, in a situation where someone might be in danger, you might want to, coax them in a slightly different direction, but you can still go with the yes. You don't have to lead with the no, right? And so if my friend calls me later today, I'm going to want to know, did you find him? Did you find the 2,000? And maybe she did. Or maybe she will have looked into the eyes of a waiter at a restaurant and seen something that she didn't expect because she was living in the yes. I don't know, and I don't need to know, but I know that love knows the direction. Love knows where this can go. So I love that. Thank you, Vicky, for that beautiful story. All right. I was thinking about trying something that we haven't done in a while, since we do have a few minutes. And maybe this is the perfect day, because we all have people in our lives who are going through different struggles. Maybe we're going through a struggle. It could be a physical struggle. It could be mental, psychological, spiritual, that we want to extend our love to. Just as I was extending my love to this friend last night, or as you were extending love to your parents when they were in the midst of their revelatory experience. Who can we extend our love to today? So I want you all to just take a deep breath, and if you want, close your eyes. And if there's anyone that comes into your heart that you can extend this yes to, the power of yes, and just go with it, who would that be? And maybe see them right in front of you, and you're looking into their eyes and you're blessing them. And whatever it is that they're going through, you're just loving them for exactly where they are at. That healing current of love. And if you want, I'm going to invite you to just say that person's name out loud. If you're here at Namaste Village, just feel free to say it out loud. If you're on the Zoom, feel free to unmute yourself for a second, say their name out loud, just so we can bring their presence into this sacred circle.
Marcia,
Ali, Catherine,
Ryan,
Ron,
Nancy,
Phyllis,
Charles,
myself,
Michael,
Best and Kashmir,
Dina,
Gladys,
Cynthia,
Sophie,
Tom,
Joy,
Elisa.
the last.
Amen.
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 Bring all of these beloveds into this sacred circle. We are a powerful extension of holiness and light. We include all, everyone that we mention and everyone else. We include them all into this sacred experience of love that we share. Amen. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Stephen. So if you're feeling any of these symptoms, don't worry, you're not losing your mind. Well, you might be. And that's not a bad thing either. Go ahead and lose it altogether, but keep the love. So have a beautiful, blessed day. We love you all. Let me see, what should we close with today? What should we close with today? Let's go ahead and close with that great declaration that we got from Joel Goldsmith. Let me put that up on the screen really quick. And we will share this as we move out into our day to love and to serve. Here we go. I choose to know that I am infinite spiritual consciousness, embodying all goodness, all grace, and the eternal glory of God. This is the song I will sing, the sermon I will preach, the lesson I will teach. And until full realization comes, this is my theme, my motif. It is the silver cord of truth running through every message I deliver. Amen, and may it be so. There you go. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Day.
I
Adios.
love you all.
I love you.
Bye-bye for